Hi guys, Tracy here with my second scrapbooking process video for today. I have a couple of more pictures. These are family pictures and they were both taken on Thanksgiving Day. I actually have 3 of them, but I'm only going to scrapbook 2. It seemed kind of repetitive. There were pretty much the same people, different combinations of the same people in the photos, and I just thought that it was a little bit redundant to scrapbook all 3 of them, so I'm just going to scrapbook the 2 that I have trimmed down here. I was using my Creative Memories trimmer to do that, and I'm not sure where I went here for a few minutes. If I don't come back soon, I will just cut this out. So the interesting thing about this layout is that it all started with that set of rub-ons that you're going to see over there to the left. They're Amy Tangerine rub-ons, and of course, because they were the inspiration for this layout, they of course did not make it onto the layout at all. That seems to always happen with me. Anyhow, I'm thinking it kind of occurred to me that I thought I would like to do a minimalist layout. So my last layout that I did, if you check out my YouTube channel, the video right before this one, was quite a busy layout. It had lots of embellishments and lots of layers of paper, and the papers were all really bold, and there was a lot going on. And I really like that, and you know, I think that I like to have that look in my scrapbook a lot of the time, but I wanted something really different for this one. And you saw me there kind of experimenting with a lot of different papers that I could put these 2 photos on. And as soon as I came to this striped paper, I thought this is the perfect balance. I like the colors. They're not too bright of a color, the yellow. And the pattern is just bold enough that if a little bit of it shows, I really love, I've said this before, but I really love a nice, bold, broad, striped paper as a mat for a photo. It's one of my very favorite looks. So as soon as I saw it, I thought I got to do that. So I had already cut up that piece of paper. So I did have an extra one because I got the extra pattern paper for this kit. So I was able to cut into a fresh sheet so that I didn't have to try to patchwork together 2 pieces to make it. Now here's a scrapbooking ninja move. I'm trimming on top of my typewriter, which was quite wobbly, so be careful not to cut yourself if you do that, or I guess you couldn't cut yourself with a trimmer, but I could have very easily, the trimmer could have gone flying off of that plastic top of the typewriter. So you saw me make a line on my vellum sheet there so that this typing is going to fit perfectly underneath of my photos. There are some scrapbookers out there who are really, really great. I made a mistake there, so I just went back and kind of typed the proper letters over top of the incorrect letters. There are some scrapbookers who are very, very good at these minimalist, not plain, I shouldn't say plain because they're not plain at all, but these minimalist, airy, white, simple scrapbook pages. I'm not one of them. But I like to try it out every once in a while. And so I decided I've seen this kind of a look before where somebody types on vellum or a piece of white paper, something that really blends in with the background quite well. And the typing is perfectly lined up with the photos, and it's just very nice and planned looking. I planned nothing, so this is a very different look for me. And I was sort of taking inspiration from lots of, I don't think any one person invented that look or whatever, but it certainly is not my look. It's not my idea. I definitely copied it from somebody. I just don't know who. Yeah. So I'm just going to trim this up so that there's more paper showing on the top and bottom than there is on the left and right. And then I'm going to place my journaling right underneath of it. It's not exactly perfectly lined up. I'm not good at making anything perfect, so that's why I don't typically even try these layouts, because I'm not good at lining things up and measuring and having things be even. So I just had to trim up my vellum because of course I didn't do a good job of making that fit perfectly under the photo. So here come the rub-ons that are never going to make it onto the layout. My original thought here was that I could put some of these rub-ons on the background, and then I thought, well, that's not going to be minimalist. It's not. I guess I had two competing ideas. The idea of the rub-ons being in the background, kind of as part of the background paper, and then this other idea of it being very white and stark and minimalist. And those two ideas, I couldn't make them work together. Maybe somebody else could, but I couldn't. I couldn't make it work in my head. So I took a couple of doilies because I wanted a few different options, but I ended up going with this smaller doily. I really liked the delicate nature of it. It has a more delicate trim around it, and it turns out that it fits nicely behind this layout. Just straightening it up a little bit. And I like that. It adds nice texture to the layout. And now this is not from the kit. So everything from this layout so far, except, well, the vellum and the doily and these Prima junkyard findings are all not from the kit. So this is only part kit, part stash layout. So these are from Prima, and I never buy stuff from Prima, but I saw it and I thought, I wanted to kind of shake it up, and I bought just a handful of things that are outside of what I normally buy, and these are one of those things. So you'll see some other things show up in my scrapbooking, hopefully in the coming weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and commit to laying that down, and I like my paper to be lined up on my grid paper so that I can try to make it look as centered as I can. I just eyeball it most of the time. And these findings I'm going to put on the top and on the bottom. And I'm just looking through the Ellie Studio die cut pieces while I'm there. And this thankful one, the circle one that I put up in the interior of the car, I like that because it's a Thanksgiving Day layout. You wouldn't know it. It doesn't really have Thanksgiving Day colors or food or anything, but I need something behind it. And so I'm looking for something that shape, but not those colors of that little die cut from Amy Tangerine die cut pack. And I think that pink label looks great under the heart, the Prima heart that's at the bottom there. I can't believe I'm even saying Prima heart on my layout, but there we go. I don't dislike Prima. I just never seem to reach for it. So this blue wood grain paper was one of my very favorite papers in the kit, in the Riptide kit. And there was a little cut apart, as you saw. So I just took a little chunk from it so that I could make a little fishtail banner. And what that does is it embellishes, but it also covers up some of the boring part of that photo that is just the interior of the car. A big portion of that photo is just the roof of the car, the ceiling. So I took a Stampin' Up! Stamp and Write marker, and I colored in little parts of this embellishment so that it wasn't quite so plain. There's so much plain on this layout, like so much uncolored stuff on this layout, that I wanted to put a couple of little shots of color, including the blue wood grain and then a bit of coloring on this die cut. And then the pink label, of course, and the yellow striped paper. So there's not too much color. This is in great comparison to the last layout that I did that has color like everywhere, like bright colors. This one has hardly any color. And so I'm just centering that and making it so it doesn't cover up my journaling. It fits quite nicely there. It's quite a coincidence. I'm glad that it fits so nicely. And then the heart fits nicely there too. I didn't want the heart to go below the doily. I wanted the doily to extend below the tip of the heart there. So that was important to me. And I also didn't want it to go over the writing. So now I'm going to use these Ellie Studio letter stickers. #thankful is going to be my title. And the journaling, I'll read it for you because I don't think I show it too close. Let me just grab the layout here. It says, "We have so much to be thankful for this year. We are happy and healthy, and we live within a close drive of the most important people to us. Our drive down to Pictou County is so beautiful this time of year, and the beautiful colors remind us how lucky we are to live in such a beautiful place and have such amazing people touch our lives. I just used the word beautiful 3 times in one sentence. Ugh. I'm just realizing that now. Anyhow, it is what it is. I literally typed it off the top of my head. I didn't think about it before I did it, obviously, or I would have chosen some synonyms there. I need a thesaurus for Christmas this year, I think. Okay, so there's my title, #thankful, and I'm really liking this layout. I think it's just so cute, and it came together so quickly, and it's so different from anything that I ever do, so I like to mix it up every once in a while and do something a little different. So I'm thinking it needs something. I'm not entirely sure what, but I'm going to go over to my sewing machine. What I really wish, so I'm going to sew through the letters for the word thankful and then realize that I was out of bobbin, so that didn't work. So I'm going to change the bobbin. What I would have liked to have done is run some thread along the pink label that the Prima heart is layered over. I think that would have looked really great, but I tried to remove that Prima heart, and because I had used that Tombow Mono multi-liquid adhesive, it was really stuck on there really good, and I just didn't want to risk ruining that pink label because I thought the pink label was just perfect. I knew I wouldn't ruin the heart because it's like wood or metal or resin or something, but I really didn't want to ruin the pink label, so I thought I'd just live with it not having stitching on it. I really would love for there to be stitching in more than one place. I don't like that there's only stitching on the title, and I could have stitched on that embellishment that says thankful. I could have taken it off of the layout and stitched on that too. That would have been another option. And then a third part of stitching could have been on that pink label if I could have made that work. I think ideally that's what this layout would have. It would have stitching on the blue piece of paper behind the thankful, and it would have stitching on the pink label under the heart as well as on the title. And that would have been much, much better in my opinion. But it's, I like the layout as it is too. It's fine. I like it. Here's some close-ups. Thanks for having a look, and have a really great scrappy week.